up, fellas? Welcome to the Friday Pick Central on the Barstool Sportsbook YouTube channel. We are 3-1 today. Big Ev, Rico Bosco, and myself. I gotta say, pretty damn exciting sports weekend we got ahead. Kind of running the gamut. We got NHL playoffs, conference finals in full swings. We're going to break down I don't know what the hell happened in that fourth quarter of Game 1 last night. Celtics just opened a gigantic can of whoop-ass on Golden State to take a 1-0 lead. And then also just got to mention one of my favorite days. This is like the Thursday, Friday of March Madness for NCAA basketball for college baseball fans. I mean, there's like literally 32 games scheduled. There's a lot of rain and stuff, so there's not going to be all of them. But it's just an all-you-can-eat buffet of college baseball. So we got a lot to get to. Ev, how are you today?
I feel good. Also to mention for the fight fans out there.
Yeah.
We had a week off hiatus from UFC. Back tomorrow, 1 p.m. prelims. Also for the big boxing match tomorrow night.
Okay.
George Kambosos Jr. versus Devin Haney. Big title fight. Kambosos in his last fight from Teofimo Lopez took all the belts, unified the belts. So he's fighting to defend it, and it's in Australia, which has kind of been like a big thing. It's really hard to take decisions in Australia, but I think the American's going to win. Shout out Devin Haney.
Rico, how you feeling a little better today? You looked a little edgy last night when you were leaving the gambling house.
Yeah, I mean, I had the Warriors.
I did too.
I still think I was talking about it with Ev. I think they're in a way better spot than people realize. It definitely changed. Like taking Game 1, I know the probably percentages of taking Game 1 in series and taking it on the road.
Boston's dropped a couple Game 1s though. I mean, the last couple.
Yeah, but for the most part, I feel like if you take Game 1, I got to think that percentage, I would say, is fairly high. I know Boston's going to make it a fight, more of what I thought, but I still think the Warriors are in a good spot.
The thing about last night,
50% from 3. They got contributions from guys you didn't expect. I think the Warriors are like, all right, this one's on us. Like, we fucked up. Let's go get it. Take care of it.
there's a lot of stuff to get into this game. First of all, Steph Curry had that historic first quarter where he just comes out and makes, 6 of his first 7 threes. And a lot of people were saying, the fact that Boston was up 2 at half after Curry had that huge first quarter was kind of cause for concern. But then Boston, we've seen this. It seems like they have some real lulls offensively in the third quarters. I feel like I saw that some in the Heat series too. And they just kind of melted down in the third. And Golden State headed all the way to 14. And then Boston, just that fourth quarter, they were 7 for 7, their first 7 from 3. A lot was made about Jason Tatum having a bad game last night. But, Rico, your point, with Derek White and Al Horford, what they shoot from 3, Horford was 6 for 8 from 3. Derek White could miss. When they're getting those kind of contributions from those guys, that kind of canceled out the Tatum.
Yeah, and you can't disparage what they did. Like, those guys are pros, and Horford's obviously anxious to be in a final, and he's showing out for sure. He's playing his heart out. Like, do we really think that's going to happen every time over a 7-game series?
No, it was weird. Like, there was, like you said, there was kind of just outliers on both sides. I do think
definitely
the outliers leaned more towards the Celtics for sure. Like you said, Derek White, Horford, smart shot pretty well from 3. But in this, Tatum didn't play well. Jaylen Brown hit some shots, but he didn't play amazing.
What was Clay's stat line? I feel like he didn't play that great either.
He had a couple shots early. I feel like he kind of faded a little bit as well in the second half. I feel like he didn't do as much. But it obviously you lose game 1 at home. It just puts the Warriors in a spot where they absolutely must win game 2, or they're fucked. You can't go to Boston down 0-2.
I agree. Boston does have such a tremendous home court.
You just can't. You can't go down 0-2. You got to split. You got to hope for. You got to get game 2.
I don't think
go to Boston, hope for a split, and hope you come back game 5 2-2.
Shit, credit to the Celtics if they do go 2-0. But
if they go 2-0, I think the series is over.
Without a doubt. It just shows me but I don't know, man. The Warriors been through it so many times. Kerr's been through it so many times.
It's just to go to Boston, because then you literally, in my opinion, you have to go to Boston and win both.
You got to feel like
Kerr, it's just a daunting.
Kerr's going to go into his own Golden State playbook of motivation, the Spurs playbook of motivation, the Phil Jackson. He's seen it now. Like I talked about, the experience. I've seen it a million different times. I think they figure it out in game 2.
What was interesting to me was Curry got so many open looks in that first quarter. It was kind of like, what the hell are they doing on D? But the defensive adjustments in the fourth, they were just running guys at him. They're almost like Draymond Green put on an offensive exhibition last night.
Disgusting.
His touch around the rim is
in a bad way.
It's almost like a point where you just let him just do whatever. Open shots. If he wants to even drive to the goal, who cares?
Yeah, they were giving him
You know,
when they doubled Steph, they were giving him the roll and they were dumping it in, and he didn't look great.
I think that's how, because that's Otto Porter was getting a lot of his open looks. But I mean, Marcus Smart, like when they just like kind of just put him on Steph, he did. I mean, he was giving Steph fits. He really was.
He had a bad he had a historic 1 quarter, and then he had a really bad 3 quarters.
Yeah, I mean,
It was
Boston just played. I mean, they just played tough defense, man. They're a gritty team.
it's just so wild to see. Like I was watching that game, and Golden State was up 14, and then they were when it was 5 early in the fourth. I was like, how the hell is this a 5-point game? You watch watching the game, you're like, it seems like Golden State's just been kicking the crap out of them the whole time, and you look up at the 3 or 5 point game. And then that was just the barrage the Celtics went on from 3. And then Golden State was scoreless for over 4 minutes in the fourth.
Yeah, almost 5.
I mean, that was a crazy.
Into a beat. I mean, it was a beating one way, and it turned into a beating the other way. That swing is like crazy.
But the thing too that I think people like Mitzi brought up earlier, one you brought up earlier, that it was like only that I think the Celtics were up 2.5. Because I think there was a point in time where like obviously Steph was so hot from 3 in the first quarter, and I think Steph hit 1 or 2, or I mean Clay hit 1 or 2. Like Porter comes in, hits a couple, and you're thinking like, oh my God, they're making all these threes. But I think sneakily people weren't realizing like, even before they got hot in the fourth quarter, the Celtics were hitting threes.
Yeah,
they went berserk in the fourth quarter, obviously, but in the quarters, like in the first second, like they were hitting shots. Like I think at one point it was like they were 8 for 17 from 3, and the Warriors were 9 for 17. Like they were sneaky, like making shots here, making them there, just hanging around. Because even like when I realized they were up 2.5, I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, that's what Mitzi, like, it just felt like they were getting killed. And
if you watch the game, especially with the Steph,
they were winning.
And then for Golden State, so what adjustments? So Steph had the game you needed him to have. You can't put it on him.
I mean, he scored 34 points. I mean, he played well.
Do you think there is almost an element, though, of like once Steph has that first quarter, and don't get me wrong, like credit to Celtics, they changed the adjustments and they played defense. Like at a certain point, they should just be like, all right, it's a Steph night. He's going to shoot the ball 40 times. Like to our best effort, like let's just keep riding it. Like
what you're saying from the Warriors' perspective.
From the Warriors' perspective, like,
I'm saying Smart was playing such good defense. Like, I think they were kind of trying. Like, he was getting all these open shots, and then Smart was playing like hard man defense on him, and then that stops.
Yeah, it feels like he didn't. He only took 2 shots in the second quarter.
Because Smart was starting. You saw like
I know
he had the push off on offense. I got
it. It's a little bit of of both. Like, obviously, the Warriors want him to take, but figure it out. You know what I mean? Like, make it be a switch, run 3 screens, like hit Smart on every. I don't know. You got 5 guys out there.
That was how he started getting some looks like later on.
Yeah,
because he like Coley said yesterday, he literally is like JJ Redick at Duke. Like he's just running back and forth, like multiple screens, like just going all over the place. So it can be tough to try to like have Smart on him for like 4 quarters. Because you need some offense out of him too. It's tough to just play man defense on a guy like that. You're literally just running constantly. It's tough, but I mean, when he was on him, he played great.
I just think it's one of those, like, he was so hot in the first quarter, like, all right, let's just ride it. Can he go for fucking 50 tonight? So, you know what I mean? Like, so it didn't feel like he got as many shots as he should have.
I'm just saying, I think
that is a credit.
They would have if they could have.
Yeah.
I got a couple questions. Like, well, first of all, I want to comment Jersey Jerry, the Horford bet on the stream. We had a real fun stream last night.
Always got something fucking off the radar.
I wonder what goes through his mind. Like, I feel like we all have gambling minds. We're like looking for these angles and these good odds. I don't know what the hell goes through his head.
Well, I think
it's catch a vibe.
I think he's a basketball guy in the sense that he likes basketball, but he's not in it every day like with what I mean with us. But I think he does have that good gambling mindset of like going 100 feet up as a sports guy, and like he was saying, like veteran, he's gonna be hungry. Like Horford first finals appearance, like. And that's, you know what I mean? Like, he can figure out a storyline under the radar. Like, it feels like he flips through a paper and is like, all right, they mentioned this, they mentioned this. Okay, here's my take. And no one has that storyline, Like, he
always want to be doing what no one else is doing.
He definitely goes for things like that, and it's worked out for him. And, I respect it. I mean, you're always looking for the off-the-grid stuff, and he kind of cashes on most of them.
Yeah, Horford, he had over 10.5 points, hit it with 7 minutes and 10 seconds left in the third last night. The couple of funny comments, he said, that's why I'm a veteran to Dan. And then he also said, now I can bet football season, which I thought was pretty dang funny. I want to mention the series price, because remember Golden State was, what, $1.40 favorite?
I think it got up to 150, 160.
Yeah.
Boston now minus 175, Golden State plus $1.40 on the Barstool Sports book. I mean, it's only like I know it's such a definitive statement that Boston went on the road and won, and they also have that great home court. But getting plus $1.40 on Golden State doesn't sound horrible to me right now. It's still only one game, right? What do y'all think?
No, I agree.
I would take that.
I think I might hop on it before Sunday.
I'll take that.
I mean, it's just you got to think with all the experience they got, and I know it's like the double-edged thing because Tatum struggled, but I mean, there's no way Derek White and Horford.
What format did they go back to? Is it 2-3-2?
I'm pretty sure. I thought it was 2-2-1-1-1, but I guess
That's what
Remember
it
the
should
finals
be, but
used to be. It was weird because it used to be 2-2-1-1-1, and then the finals was 2-3-2, but the other ones weren't.
yes, for a while they switched it to 2-3-2, which makes no sense to me because you figure, all right, if they split the first four, the biggest swing game is going to the team without home court advantage. That's not fair.
Look.
Like I hated that.
No, I'd like
they
to.
went back.
2-2-1-1.
All right, so they
Two-
did,
okay,
they did
good.
go back. I'm not crazy. I do know for a fact it was 2-3-2. I do know that. So 2-2-1-1-1. I like that as well with the Warriors, giving them back the swing game.
My instincts are saying we got a Golden State bounce back here in Game 2, and I think the plus $1.40. Like I know Boston's home court is like absurdly ridiculous, but Steph and Golden State have so much experience. You got to think they're going to be able to navigate that a lot better than most.
So I think it's.
In fact, I think I'm going to add that.
I think it's Warriors Sunday. I think it's Warriors whenever it is in 3, and I think the Celtics blowout we talked about
It's game
is
4.
4.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. At least
I don't hate that because it's like kind of the two. Like, all right, you basically like they get down. You're like, all right, like we're going back home.
We're going back in a 2 out of 3 series.
We got 2 of them at home.
Right.
Well, so we're gonna have a stream Sunday night. I believe Dave's gonna be here in the New York office. I've heard for Sunday night, basing these games out a ton, which that probably benefits Golden State with the older guys they got with Steph and Clay. Boston's in such a groove right now.
Boston just has a lot of guys that are like banged up, like Robert Williams,
True.
and, like Marcus Smart had some ankle stuff. So I almost think it kind of benefits them even a little bit more, to be honest with you.
Well, Game 2 Sunday night, I believe at 8. I'm not totally sure.
Yes, sir. 8 o'clock.
Yeah, but we will have a
8 o'clock tip.
Yeah,
8 o'clock on the yeah.
they usually do this. It seems like
8:15,
I like that sports do this, and live music does this too. On Sunday, you need to have a little earlier tips. Like Monday hits you hard in the working world. We don't need that 9 p.m. 10 p.m. on Sunday night. Even though I don't.
Well, the NFL kicked too at 8:30. I think they should just make that straight at 8 o'clock. But
Yeah. We're going to have RA's going to call on and talk some Stanley Cup playoffs. On that note, last night, Colorado just beat the hell out of Edmonton. I was a sucker and tried to ride that over momentum off the 8-6 game. Never really had a shot. Colorado had that 3. It was 0-0 at the end of 1, felt dead, and the Colorado scored 3 in like the
It was
first
literally
8 minutes.
and they scored 3 in 2 minutes and 4 seconds.
Dang.
Crazy. So that was like 3 of the 4 goals were in a 2-minute stretch.
I'm starting to think. I mean, Colorado. Like I know that Vegas has them as a huge fan. Can anybody touch them?
They're just monsters. I mean, Edmonton. I feel like I'm not the biggest hockey guy. I felt like they had a bunch of power plays that they clearly just didn't capitalize on. But I mean, they just looked like a stone wall. It was like the power plays. It looked like they weren't even coming that close.
Yeah, the Edmonton thing too. I'm not saying I'm not a hockey guy. I've been following the playoffs. That goalie, Mike, how many damn goals you gonna give up and expect to win? I mean, how much pressure? Like I know McDavid's like one of the best players, but I mean, do they have to score at least 5 goals every game to have a chance? I mean, that seems like a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they let up a ton to Calgary. I mean, you let up 12 in 2 games in the Western Conference Finals.
That seems hard to sustain.
Pretty much.
No matter who you got.
I think the Rangers total today I was looking at, that looks a little low.
5.5.
5.5 seems lower than what we've seen, right?
No, I mean it's a less offensive powered series.
And then also both goalies, Vasilevsky and Igor
both
Shesterkin,
very
are
good,
both
yeah.
like literally 2 at the top. What's interesting?
That's fine to say, but the last game wasn't it? It was 8 goals.
Well, it was 6. Yeah, but it just was kind of a.
Yeah,
Things
that's
get loose.
fine. But hockey seems like the standard number, especially hanging out with Elio so much, it's 6.
Regular season, yeah. like
So 6.5, whatever. So it's like to drop that a full goal is interesting.
So 8 o'clock tonight at MSG, the Rangers are leading the Lightning 1-0. Some interesting stats on this one. Vasilevsky of Tampa has won 17 playoff games in a row coming off a loss. That is an absurd stat. Tampa minus 132. The Rangers coming back at plus 112. Tampa was a big favorite in the series. Look, you certainly all signs point to a Tampa bounce back here. They hadn't played in 9 days. Maybe they were a little rusty in the first one. But what a golden opportunity for the Rangers. They beat the crap out of Carolina on the road in Game 7, and then they beat the crap out of them 6-2 the other night. They're young. They got a ton of momentum. I mean, if they pull this one off tonight, you got to. I mean, I know people already got to take them seriously, but if they win this, when Tampa has this kind of championship medal, going for their third in a row in this bounce back spot, I mean, you really got to think the Rangers got.
Yeah, it's a major shift in put them in a driver's seat of the series. Obviously, I just knowing very very little of hockey. Tampa 2 cups. Watch Tampa beat that 3-2 series. I'm rooting for the Rangers. I'm on the Rangers. Seems like a load up on Tampa tonight.
No, it does look like I'm not touching. I've been taking the Rangers. The Rangers have won 7 or 8 They lost Game 1 to Pittsburgh in triple OT, and they've won every other home game in the Garden in the playoffs. It's like 7 or 8 in a row. It's the all-time franchise record. They've got an incredible home ice advantage. I mean, New York is freaking popping. It's fun to see.
Hockey town, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, and the Rangers fan base is just nuts, man. I've been looking at the ticket prices because I want to sneak into a game, but, man, I'm just throwing my hands up. You know, it's like, I mean, you ain't getting in there for under $300, $400, $500 now. I know they hadn't made the Cup since 2014. A bunch of other stuff to get into. How'd the hot ice stuff go yesterday?
3-0
Swept best bets.
Again?
Yeah.
Well, the last time we swept every bet. Like I said, we all hit our best bet.
We all hit our best bets. Dogs, I think up and down. Like one, I think everybody kind of went one. I went 1-1. Giants
lost.
didn't show up.
The Mets got lost.
Alcantara is fucking good.
Really good.
I was watching a little bit of MLB Network this morning. They were highlighting like everything he's in. He's potentially in a Cy Young race. Like
he's had some tough breaks this year where he's had some great starts and the runs have lost.
He's really doing well.
I mean, he just shut him out basically.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't do anything.
Mets had a tough loss last night. Yankees coasted.
Well, we coasted Game 1. That Tyone had a perfect game into the 7th, ends up giving up a hit. Then they give up the lead, and then Rizzo came up with a big bases loaded single with 2 outs in the 8th. So we won it 2-1. So we swept the doubleheader last night.
I was out. I didn't even have my radar on.
Remember, you were on him first game because you thought it feels like Ohtani's pitching lines are.
He's 100% inflated.
I made my piece, my points yesterday. He's a very good player. I just think as a pitcher, he's overrated in the sense that he gets treated like he's like this elite pitcher, and he's not. He's good, but he's not great.
I want to look up like his year by year too. Like,
I mean, his ERA. I mean, he got shelled yesterday, so obviously it bumped, but his ERA is up to like 4. Like he's not like it's not like he's just like.
But he's getting prices, yeah. Like you go against him as a dog. So.
He wins MVPs because he hits 40 home runs and he pitches, not because he pitched, not because
100%. It's a rarity. We haven't seen this since fucking Babe Ruth back in the day. You know what I mean? Like so.
I wonder. Like I said, I asked it yesterday. How are his hitting stats on days that he's starting pitches? Like, I wonder if that makes it better. Or
you can look it up. Yeah, I mean,
no, I feel like
I'm not sure.
I just like to know because I feel like I wonder if like that affects it or not. I mean, maybe it doesn't. Maybe he's just like such a.
I think it does.
I mean, it just seems like that's a lot to do in.
I think it does.
One game, but baseball rolling on. Ev, I want to ask you. So you said UFC and boxing. Do you got you got any picks for this weekend coming up?
Yes, like I said, for the boxing, I like Devin Haney. He's the favorite. He's minus like 175 range. I just think he's bigger, stronger. I believe by KO he's plus like 550, which that number I really like. Also, given that so what I did some research. I mentioned the Australian judges now. There's been a lot where it's been hard to win. Like I remember Pacquiao years ago got like absolutely robbed when he fought. I think it was Jeff Horn in Australia. But I did find out the 3 judges none of them are Australian. So maybe that could definitely have an impact. But I like Devin Haney by KO plus 550. UFC, it's an interesting card. I probably like Rosenstruck in the main event plus 130. It's just kind of like power puncher versus a guy who's like a big, long Volkov, big, long Russian guy. Also a striker, too. I could see him go into his takedowns and use his wrestling and grappling. But Rosenstruck definitely a power puncher. He's a good kickboxer. So I do like him. I like him in the main event. There's a few guys I like Trizano. I like. He's a decent favorite, but I think he should get it done. Tony Gravely, I like. He's only minus like 135, 140 going against Johnny Munez. So yeah, there are a few. I'll be tweeting out like the full card. Also, check out Spinning Backfist. We broke down the whole card yesterday, gave out some picks and stuff like that. Great episode. But I'll definitely tweet out some picks tomorrow as well.
It seems like, so how often do UFC, I mean, are they, I remember back in the day it was once a month. Now is it like 2 or 3 a month.
Now it's pretty much like last week there was off. There's
Every weekend,
it's,
right?
it's 10 weekends in a row now.
Crazy.
They pretty much are doing cards now. If there's 52 weekends in a year, they're doing cards pretty much like 45 probably.
Is there like a major fight coming up this summer?
So the International Fight Week's in July.
Okay.
So in July they'll do like 2 pay-per-views. So there's a big one, like there's a pay-per-view next week in Singapore, June 11th. That's like the light heavyweight championship and the women's flyweight championship. But then July 2nd is a big one. That I believe is that's like Adesanya's fighting on that one, and that's a big card. And then the July 30th is a big card as well.
That Adesanya, the guy I don't like, he's the fucking robot guy.
You call him the Robot, yeah. He's just like a super
I know he's
a phenomenal kickboxer.
He's good. I'm not.
He's great.
No, but he does weird shit. It's like
He's a super like he's like
to my own liking. Yeah, he's like he does the.
he's a super long, like he's
Yeah.
rangy, like super athletic. He's last stylebender. That's his nickname.
For sure. That's a good one though. If the main event is after the Belmont, the 11th.
So yeah, that's Belmont.
Hold up that day.
Belmont.
I'm actually because it's in Singapore, which is the first time they've gone there. I'm actually not sure what time that car will start. Like US.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, I mean it's the same day, so
Yeah, Belmont next.
I like it a little bit better when it's not starting at 12 o'clock at night. You know what I mean? Or the main event. You know what
That's
I
what
mean?
like this one's nice. So this is a fight night. Like this one, like the main card starts at like 1 p.m. Eastern time,
Not bad.
which I kind of like, especially when it's outside of football season and
Yeah,
stuff. It's great. Like
of
there's
course.
baseball and UFC.
Yeah,
Also, want to make sure we mention. Did y'all get to see the Dozen finale last night?
I did. Well, I watched it live here, but yeah, I watched it again.
Man, you just really hate.
Plenty balls.
I mean, they pulled. You just really hate to see Brandon. I mean, 12-8 lead late on his show. I mean, he's gonna have to be thinking. I mean, that's gonna stay. I mean, we only have one of these tourneys a year. I mean, I know I screwed up in it, but I mean, I got a championship ring. You know, like it's gonna be tough for Brandon to swallow. You know, I know he's gonna be thinking about that one a long time. Huge shout out to Smitty, Glennie, and Tommy. I mean, what were they? The 10 seed, and they won the damn thing.
Yeah.
You know, it was funny watching it last night. So I did watch it live when it happened here in studio, but I only saw actually it was kind of funny. I literally only saw the comeback. I think I was recording, spinning back for something that came out and was watching the end of it. But it was funny because I played Up 10 Balls and I watch all the Dozen matches. It's a great show. Shout out Jeff. But it was funny because Up 10 Balls, like their whole thing was like they get these lead and then they bicker and get mad at each other and collapse. And if you notice, watch the match, they were all so we're good, like even keel, like even in the beginning when they were down like 4 or 5 points, they like never had that moment where they were like, oh, like Smitty, you fucking idiot, or like Tommy, like what the fuck, like they never had that moment. They all were just like, we're good, and they just fucking pulled it out. It was unreal.
Yeah. I'm getting LeBron vibes from Brandon. Obviously, he likes LeBron. He defends him left and right, but LeBron didn't win a ring at his first stop. He had to go away, come back.
So you think he needs a switch?
I don't think he needs. I don't think he needs anything.
You think he needs to take his talents to South Beach?
I don't think he needs anything. I'm just starting to worry. You know, maybe he takes the LeBron path, and then comes back to the experts. It's a good story.
Well, they tried to load it up because remember they made the trade to get Fran to be.
Fran was on.
Who was the third?
Yeah,
they didn't really trade. They added Fran. They only had 2 members.
Oh yeah, it was a 2-member team.
That's the
Brandon
thing,
thought
yeah.
he was so smart, and then realized
Right.
he wasn't as smart as he thought he was, and needed.
Well, they needed Fran's awesome at the celebrity mashups.
Oh yeah,
some of the pop-
Fran could
literally-
be good
some
at-
of the pop in the
yeah.
pop culture
She could be
stuff
good at
where they were
music.
weak.
I mean, she's a guaranteed double. Like she doesn't miss.
Yeah, she could be good at music for sure. I've
She's
seen
literally a
that,
guaranteed double in that, like the mix and match. She doesn't miss ever, literally ever.
Congrats, Uptown Balls. I thought there was some funny stuff. The $25 cheesecake gift certificate to Tommy for winning Player of the Dozen. I want to see a Tommy Champions dinner off that content off that $25 gift certificate. I think that would just be unreal.
12 heads can split 1 piece of chicken palm.
As far as hardware though, now Tommy has Survivor and a Dozen championship, right? The Dozen is a team thing, but Frank has 2 live events for the Dozen.
Yeah, Frank, and they won the regular season, but that doesn't.
No, but he won the 2 events. No,
Yeah, at least one of them he
he
won.
definitely won LA, right? And then did he win Arizona?
They went Chicago, maybe.
Chicago? Yeah,
Chicago.
No, he won.
Yeah.
I think he won both. He won LA.
He won
They
LA
didn't have
and
Arizona.
Chicago.
They didn't have Arizona because what happened. But
Oh, right.
okay. Last thing, and we're about to be joined by RA on the line. I'm going to go on a little bit of a rant here. Look, if you don't want to know the spoilers of the Dozen, just mute the Dozen hashtag on Twitter. That's a known thing. I got bitched at by so many people when I hashtagged the Dozen, talking crap to Walker about, what a shame it is that he's going to have to think about this for a whole year, how he choked on his show with everything on the line. and people are coming at me, calling me a fat, dumb hick for that. Like, I mean, utilize a hashtag like a freaking regular human being. I mean, that's like all, like, I don't know. I just couldn't believe people were coming at me for that. Like,
well, the other thing you could do too is you could get off of Twitter and join Truth Social. There are no spoilers on Truth Social.
Oh man, you're killing me with this. Oh, that's too good. Well, RA joining us on the line to talk some NHL Stanley Cup playoffs. What's up, RA? How are you, man?
How we doing, boys? How's things, all right?
I think things are good. Enjoying following y'all's playoff path. I saw y'all were doing it big in Denver, and now y'all are heading to Edmonton next.
Yeah. Just sitting here at the private jet terminal now, waiting to get on our private jet going from Denver to Edmonton for Game 3, and hoping Edmonton can make this a series, because if they don't win the next one, it's not a series anymore.
We're having our amateur hour hockey talking here, but we are definitely. I mean, I'm like into this NHL playoffs. My question, so this series, I mean, Colorado looks kind of unbeatable. How much is it unfair to Edmonton's offense? How many goals a game do they have to score to have a chance? It seems like Edmonton's goalie and defense play is, I don't want to call it horrendous, but close to it.
It's not top tier. I mean, the goaltender, it was a concern going in, and obviously it is what it is. I think they might just be overmatched. Like you said, on the D, I got to be quiet too, because I'm actually at the terminal. In this family of players here, so I don't want to be disrespectful talking to her. But it's an issue. They're definitely overmatched on D, and right now they're overmatched in the net, because the concern going into Colorado's goalie, Darcy Kempo, was he's been unproven in the playoffs. But the backup, Pavel Francouz, was in now. This kid was an unbelievable rookie. He looked like he was going to be maybe possibly in line for the number one. And then he had a rough second year, third year. They kind of forgot about him. Now he's at the crease again, and he's grabbed it by the balls. He got a shutout last night. And, Colorado's looking unbeatable right now. But, that can change in one game, and it's going to be a different story in Edmonton. It's going to be a loud barn. I mean, it was loud in Denver last night, but it's probably going to be 10 times louder in Edmonton tomorrow.
Look, I mean, they're in a total must-win here, obviously, right?
I basically kind of considered last night's game a must-win for them. So I'm trying to not be outside where all the flames are, but also, like I said, I don't want to be disrespectful like this. More of those players see them be like within shouting distance. I don't want them to hear me talking. But the last night I thought was a must-win, because you go down 2-0 in a series, Mincy, and the stats, I think it's something like 80% of the time a team wins a series when they go up 2-0 in the NHL. So. You go down to 0-2, especially with, a team like Colorado that's already stacked. The goaltender's playing well, and your goaltender's not. It's a tough situation. But, having said that, we've seen some wild games as players. We've seen some wild series. And if they win tomorrow night, it's 2-1. And then it becomes the classic pivotal game 4, like we talk about any series. So, but, I mean, if they lose tomorrow night, it's done. So, they'll have to beat a team being down 3-0. It's only happened, I think, 5 times in history. But, again, to do it against a team of Colorado's caliber is pretty unlikely.
All right, I know you got some time to think about the games until tomorrow night. Where, if you had to choose right now, where do you see your money floating towards tomorrow, Colorado or Edmonton?
You know what? I'm going the game. Let's face it. I'm probably not gonna bet Colorado. I'm going the game in Edmonton. I'm gonna want to cheer for Edmonton.
Yeah, of course.
Listen, I cheer for series more than anything. I as a fan of the league, I want a 6-game series, a 7-game series. So yeah, I'm rooting for Edmonton because I'm rooting for a long series. But it's this season, man. They gotta win. Or they're toast. So, wow. How about those Rangers, though, huh, boys? New York must be bumping, huh?
That's what we're getting into now. So, okay, Rangers up 1-0. The Lightning hadn't played 9 days, and Vasilevsky, who's unbelievable goalie, allowed 6 goals the other night. I know that, then maybe it had to do with the 9-day break, but the stat that everybody's talking about, he's won 17 bounce-back playoff games in a row off a loss. Tampa minus 132 tonight. Do you think the Lightning get back on track, or the Rangers have won 7 straight playoff home games in the Garden? So what streak's going to give tonight?
The first thing I did after that game the other night was jump ahead, and I pounded Tampa Bay. Because, the stat you just mentioned, Vasilevsky, after losing a game, comes back. And then it's Tampa Bay. They're playing for history right now. They're not, they're 2-time defending champs. Nobody's won 3 in a row since the Islanders 40 years ago. So, again, it's going back to that down 0-2 stat. They go down 0-2, it's tough to come back. I know they're capable of it, but it's just the whole coming back from the watch. Yeah, I took Tampa -1.25 right after the game the other night, so I'm all over Tampa Bay tonight, and I advise you to do the same.
Yeah, Tampa went to -132. My question to you, do you think, like, what kind of chance? I mean, it seemed like nobody was really giving, like, the Rangers a huge chance in the series with Tampa winning back-to-back titles, and they're, laying $1.30 on the road, which means they'll probably be 180 or 170 at home. Do you think the Rangers have a legitimate shot to win this series, or you still think Tampa's going to just flex their muscle?
No, the Rangers 100%. They got a legitimate shot, man. I mean, they got an unreal goalie who, it's one game he outplayed his counterpart thus far. I don't know if it's going to hold up for 6 and 7 games, but yeah, they're stroking it well right now. Their offense is playing unreal. They got a unreal defense. I mean, the Rangers, if they get to the Cup, it wouldn't surprise me at this point. And I actually jumped on them back during the Carolina series, so they were 22-1. I told us, throw a little something on the Rangers. Not like a Boston guy to want to root for a New York team, but sometimes, gambling doesn't involve love and emotions, as we know as boys, right?
Yeah,
that's the truth.
So you're not the only one, Rico. You have a Ranger future, and then I actually, when Pittsburgh won that game 1 in OT, I hopped on the Rangers when they're down 1-0 first round at 27-1. So we all got some sweats there. That's not bad, boys.
A little bit of a taste. Nothing wrong having a little taste action going.
No. So what's so spit chickens like? I'm following y'all around, and I'm learning more and more about the hockey culture. So like in Edmonton, you're going to the game. Y'all been doing watch parties in Denver. Like what all y'all doing for the playoffs right now?
Yeah, we let's see. We got here. These things tend to be whirling. Got to slow them down. Let's see. We did a watch party the first night here for Rangers Tampa. Unreal show. Chicklets fans are the best, man. They come out, pack the place, and then last night we went to the game. Had a box, and I don't know if you saw the picture. Who was in the box? Steve Wozniak, co-founder of Apple, was in the same box with the Chicklets crew last night, which is pretty wild. And I told the mutual guy who got everyone in there, I told him that I had an Apple IIc back in the day, and I actually had a picture of it on my phone. He's like, "Oh my God, Woz will love that." So he's like, "You got to show him." So I had a picture of me, like probably when I was like 13, with an Apple IIc, and Woz's face lit up when I showed him. So I ended up getting a picture with me and him holding the picture with me and the Apple IIc. So it was pretty funny, pretty wild stuff. Something I wouldn't have predicted 5 years ago. Put it that way, boys.
Are y'all staying out west? Or is there is anything going on in New York for this Ranger series with y'all in the next couple of weeks?
Well,
What's going on?
We'll wait and see. We're going to be home. We're out for the season. I don't get home until Monday, and who knows what the series will be. I know we're definitely going to be back down in New York at some point in the playoffs, and obviously the Rangers are still alive, 100%. I would imagine we'll be doing something. Right now, Minty, TBD, as they say.
Okay. Well, as a lifelong Rangers fan here, I'm sweating y'all's sweating y'all's next move pretty close. Well, awesome, man. Well, a nice flex flying on the private jet. I love to see all the stuff Spit and Chicklets are doing, and I just want to thank you for joining us here on the show today.
Thanks for having me, man. It's my first private jet. I've been in Barstool longer than anyone, basically, except for Dave. But now I'm finally getting my first private jet, so I got to go make the most of it.
God bless, RA.
All right, boys. Have a good one. And go like
safe flight.
Yeah, I tell you, we were talking last night on the stream, man. Biz was looking good with he had the little
scruff
going.
Good looking dude. It's a good looking dude.
God, man, this chick, I knew how popular the Chicklets were when it came in here, but I'm getting more and more into it. Man, those guys do a damn good job.
Oh, they crush it.
They're
great.
What's interesting to me is how tall some of the hockey players I've met
The big guys, physical sport. The big guys.
Like Whitney's.
The thing with hockey too is I think there's a lot of it kind of has it's funny because I always said about baseball too. Like you meet baseball guys, you notice how big they are, but it's similar where there's a lot of variation. Like where there's small guys can make it in hockey because it's just speed kills. It's like when you see small guys, that guy's he's just fast as shit on the ice.
Yeah.
But they do have big guys. Like Whitney's a big guy. Biz is a big guy.
I met Kevin Hayes. He's a big guy.
He's
too.
a big guy. Like a lot of them are big dudes.
I'm going to run through, I don't want to make this too long, but I will I'm going to do a couple of minutes just with a few NCAA baseball tourney picks today. So everyone that followed this last year knows, I took too many favorites, and I got just dragged. My carcass got dragged on Twitter for literally weeks by Dave Portnoy. So we've learned our lesson. Look, college baseball, they haven't had last year was the first year they've ever had lines on it. I'm not going to say I'm some expert, but nobody knew what the hell they were doing. Nobody's ever handicapped. They don't even know how to make the lines. Right. It's a totally new world here, boys. And we made some mistakes, and what we've realized is anything can happen with metal bats in these damn games. So we're looking for plus signs, boys.
Okay.
Wait till they go to 60-foot bases. That's all I gotta say.
I know. So we're looking for
value now, boys.
We're looking for some plus signs. Early. So I put out my picks for the early games already. Bunch of them out there. I know this sounds crazy, but so Columbia, the Ivy League rep.
Oh, I was gonna say
Wow.
who's the wacky team in NJIT?
Dude, Columbia,
Start right
people
off the
are saying
bat.
they're
All right.
playing. So they're playing Gonzaga.
Shout out my boy Miles.
shit.
NJIT.
Yeah, they're playing Gonzaga in the Virginia Tech regional. But man, basically, I mean, I talked to a guy that knows a hell of a lot more than college baseball than I do, and I'll just call it what it is. I get a little wisdom imparted. He's got me convinced. I took Columbia 10-1 to win the Virginia Tech regional.
Wow.
Yeah, he's saying Virginia Tech had like a great year and was the best team in the ACC, but like they don't have a lot of tradition. They hadn't hosted a lot of regionals, so he thinks they can be beat. Columbia also is plus 220, so getting a big plus sign against Gonzaga today. Gonzaga long travel, playing in Blacksburg, Virginia.
Without a doubt.
So I hopped on that.
Might inspire me to put a little sprinkle in Columbia, honestly.
Yeah, dude, 10-1 on the regional. You know,
Even just today, plus 220 might inspire me.
what's crazy is watching the sports book. These lines move in baseball. It's like nuts. I took Oklahoma. Oklahoma won the Big 12 tournament title. They got really good pitching staff. I took a minus 134 against Liberty earlier. They're minus 215 right now.
Wow.
What?
Good CLV, as the people say from
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Good
I
CLV.
I like Oklahoma.
Baseball in general. I'm sorry. Baseball in general is moving early. You remember the Mets line the other night?
of course.
It was a laugher, but it opened at, like I said, at 8, 9 o'clock in the morning. I text Marty, hey, put this on as the best bet. Mets 4.5. Hour later, or an hour and a half by the time we record, it's up a full run. Like, you should be shopping baseball lines early. That's gambling, especially early. Like, strikeout numbers, you think a guy's going to strike guys out. You don't want it going over from 6 to 6.5. Now you're going from a push win to a loss, potentially. You know what I mean? Like, baseball in general moves quickly. I say try to get that either the night before or the day of.
So, okay, here's a few of the bets I've got. So, my long shot regional winners. And for people who don't even know what I'm talking about, the way college baseball tournament works, 16 regionals of 4-team tournaments that are double elimination is how it works. And the 16 regional winners move on to the Supers, and you have 8 2-out-of-3 series next weekend, and that's the 8 that make it to Omaha. So, you basically got these 4-team tournaments, and so we've got odds on all that. My long shots are Columbia 10-1, and then Southeast Louisiana, the Lions. They're plus 1,550 in the Auburn regional, and I'm just saying it. I don't think Auburn deserved to host a regional. I think they're overrated as hell, and so I think Southeast Louisiana's got a shot against them. I took them. I put a very tiny bit on them, plus 1,550. Those are my 2 long shots.
It is an interesting format to be taking stabs like this because all you got to really do, I know it's their dogs. You win the first game, you're kind of in the driver's seat to set yourself up with the pitching. You know what I mean?
My thing is going after the teams like Auburn and Virginia Tech. I think can be beat as regional.
Yes.
I'm not trying to go after freaking Tennessee or
Right.
the ones that can't be beat. The problem with these smaller schools, so often in college baseball, you've got this like sick Friday night ace on these smaller schools, and so that first game, they're live dogs when they got guys that are just badass pitchers. But when you get to your 3rd and 4th
Right.
game,
They just don't have the depth.
yeah, the bullpen, and you got your number 3 and 4 starters. So you got to come out of the winners bracket. Okay,
To that extent, if you can win with the ace, you don't have to
gotta scrape one
you don't have to
together.
win together. You can. You're in
gotta
you're in that
scrape one
championship
together.
game.
You got to stay out of the losers bracket. If you're a
Right,
smaller
yeah,
school. Some other picks for the early games. Texas Tech has made Omaha a freaking crap ton under Tim Tadlock. Really interesting regional. They're Georgia Southern won the Sun Belt, number 16 seed, Statesboro, Georgia, hosting a regional. Supposedly the ballpark is like a bandbox. It's really small. It's going to be humid as all balls there.
Overs.
Well, here's my thought. Texas Tech playing Notre Dame. Not good for Notre Dame coming from Indiana. Texas Tech plays in a bandbox too. Texas Tech plus 120 today. Notre Dame has a really good ace lefty, but Texas Tech 14-1 against lefties. So we're taking the plus sign there. I like Texas Tech. I took Georgia Tech earlier at small. Actually, I'm going to lay off that. I didn't post that one. I took Columbia, like I mentioned. That was one of the ones I got. Florida State is
Love Columbia now.
Florida State.
I think I have to bet them.
Yeah.
I think I have to.
Dude,
know
they're
people that
10-1, dude.
I know people that work there. I'm rooting for Columbia.
Supposedly, another fact.
He had me watching NJIT last year.
No, dude, the tournament. The thing with college baseball, it's the tournament. I mean, sports are great when you watch games that have that sense of urgency that, like, when it just really matters.
Just a team in New York from the Ivy League winning.
Oh, yeah.
Winning a regional even.
Yeah, no, and another factor here. Think about this year. This is a good year. We saw this in college basketball. Mid-majors have 5th and 6th year seniors because the extra COVID year. So those teams that have that continuity, that makes up for the lack of talent a little bit when you've got guys that have been together 4 and 5 years. On schools like Columbia, I think that's a real factor. And also, Major League Baseball used to have a 1 million round draft. Now they have 20 rounds. So these kids are coming back for their 4th year now. It's kind of changed it. It's not, they're shrinking the minor leagues. So I think those are things you got to factor in. I took Florida State, who's pretty much pick 'em against UCLA. I like Florida State's ace pitcher. That one's at Auburn. I got Oklahoma earlier, like I mentioned. Some other ones for today. Later, got some underdogs. We're just not doing the, like I said, we're not doing the betting big favorites. The only huge favorite that I think is a good bet, and it's a freaking horrible price. Texas is minus 420, but they're at home against Air Force. Texas has freaking 2 really good pitchers. I think they're probably going to hold the ace for tomorrow. But, man, that's an Austin, Texas game. They're playing on smart move. Texas playing during the day. Air Force coming from the mountains of Colorado Springs. Got to play in this freaking Texas heat. At minus 420, I know it's bad. I just can't see Air Force winning that game.
What about the run line?
We don't have the run line on ours. We just have the lines on here.
Got it.
But that was one I was looking at.
420 it is.
Yeah, minus 420. I was thinking about doing like a big cat, like a not going to lose parlay, maybe sprinkling that in.
You think it's a sign, though, that the team from Colorado, 420?
Yeah, but they're the Air Force Academy.
I know.
I didn't think about that.
They don't do that.
Yeah, they don't do that because they don't mess around in the military.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, some other ones I'm looking at later, the plus signs. There's so many games. I mean, this is literally like the Thursday.
It is. It does. It's definitely something to be checking out.
People are beaking at me huge about Central Michigan, who's won the MAC 3 years in a row. They're plus 205 at Florida. I'm taking a look at that. The Florida Gators have a great tradition under O'Sullivan, but they were struggling all year, and then they got hot and won 16 out of 21 late. There's a lot of bad weather in Florida right now. There's a tropical storm down there in Miami, so I'm worried that's going to affect things. I think LSU's a monster favorite against Kennesaw State. I ain't laying no 305, but Kennesaw State, I don't know how they're a 3 seed. They're like 35 and 26. I mentioned Southeast Louisiana, plus 285 against Auburn. Pretty good price. Pretty good price there. I mean, on the long shot. VCU plus 180 against Georgia. Georgia has a good ace, but, man, they limped to the finish line. And, we talk about baseball, confidence and momentum. You want to be peaking at the right time. Georgia lost a ton of games down the stretch. VCU's won 15 in a row. Granted, that's out of the A-10, but, I mean, just a little confidence and momentum, plus 180. I think that one looks kind of good. Sort of looking at Michigan. Michigan was the 5 seed in the Big Ten, but got hot in the tournament. But, I mean, they made the championship game in 2019 against Vandy. Plus 155, a good price against Oregon. Looking at Louisiana Lafayette's plus 128 against TCU. TCU is in the biggest storyline of the college baseball regionals. TCU got sent to College Station. Schlossnagel, the Texas A&M coached at TCU for 20 years. This is his first year at A&M, and now he's playing TCU in that regional. That is pretty wild.
It's TCU again, this one?
It's like the horn frog,
Like
the horn thing, but then it's down.
But don't they do they kind of almost like a 4 type thing?
Yeah, it's like you have the horn
4?
thing, and then you bring it down.
It's like you bring the 2 like in kind of, and it's like this. Yeah.
That.
One of our interns, Dawson, did a really good job with the Barstool TCU account. Now he's up here. Shout out to him. Like, TCU gives them the unparalleled access to help the game day atmospheres and stuff. It became a big thing. Shout out to him.
Shout out TCU. They were my basketball team.
I met Jamie
college.
Dixon finally, yeah.
The last couple I'm looking at Texas State minus 1. So Texas State, really good all year out of San Marcos, Texas, beat Texas, one of the best teams in the Sun Belt. They got sent to Stanford, brutal regional. The California baseball is kind of like a different deal a little bit. Those Cali teams, they don't get any fan support, but they play a little different style. Stanford's the 2 national seed. Cal Santa Barbara is also really good. That Big West winner is usually tough in baseball. But Texas State, I took them at minus 108 tonight. So also the Miami regional has already been postponed to tomorrow. They ain't going to play tomorrow either. There's a damn tropical storm down there. So Ole Miss and Miami and Arizona, I mean, that thing may go till Tuesday. I just hope they get to play because if they don't get to play at all, Miami automatically advances. I mean, that would be horrible.
I like fading whoever comes out of that into the super regional, though.
Yeah.
So if the rest.
I wonder if they'll, yeah. I mean, Miami's a national seed. They're the big favorite. Ole Miss, obviously, I'm pumped up about it, but they're, they literally got the 64th bid. I actually almost felt bad for Quiggs because I thought NC State.
NC State was supposed to get in.
I had a legitimate
Shout out TJ.
But I'm headed straight up.
Rutgers.
I'm literally headed.
In it?
No, they got fucked.
Rutgers went 45 and 14.
Apparently, they got absolutely fucked.
That's crazy.
It's tough. I mean, TJ made a point on Twitter, and I agree with this. What are these Northeast teams supposed to do if they don't get any credit for winning in conference?
Right.
Like, the only games that matter to them are the ones where they go south in March when they have a huge disadvantage and can't play at home because it's too cold. I don't know. I mean, I feel, obviously Ole Miss benefited getting in at 14-16 in the SEC, but like,
Put a dome up, Rutgers.
yeah, I don't know, man.
Pony up.
Scrap the money, make a GoFundMe for Rutgers.
Pony the fuck up. Let's go.
That's funny. My future for this tournament, I have A&M. I got them 60-1 2 weeks ago. They're 25-1 right now, so I'm feeling pretty good. I got 70 to win like 4,200 on them. So that's
pretty good.
That's my future. But for more college baseball stuff, follow my Twitter at Barstool Mincy. I'm gonna I'm going straight to the Hoboken house.
And you get involved live too?
What's up?
Can you get involved live?
They're still working on we have odds to win the regionals. We have odds to win the tournament. We had over-unders during the year, but I'm not seeing them on these games.
And then you have the individual games, obviously, right?
Yeah, but you have the individual games. I was hoping we'd get over-unders, but we'll see. But either way, it's kind of one of those things where I know a lot of people aren't like nationally into college baseball, but like the product is freaking wild. I think the metal bats, Major League, they're so good they never screw up in the field. Like the errors and the sense of wildness, I feel like almost add to the game.
It's like college basketball,
NBA.
I mean? Like it's like there's like that elite, like the way
like college football. Like we're gonna get
it's just create college football.
We're gonna get a few college football plays. Exactly. Bounce off a fucking helmet. This, that. That's the way it goes.
Yeah. So that's kind of what Anyway, I'm gonna be watching these games all weekend. It's gonna run through Monday. I'm gonna be doing like a lot of short video reacts and just bets and all that. So whether you want to fade me, take my picks, I don't give a crap. Just get some money on the Barstool Sports book. Fire some small bets responsibly. Watch some college baseball, and you're going to get hooked because you're going to be like, holy crap, I had no idea this was going on, and this is really fun. Speaking of the Barstool Sports book, we got one of our best promotions we've ever had.
For sure.
I mean, literally, you deposit. If you're a new player and you deposit with the code Can't Lose NBA in any of our 12 states we're live, you could bet $20 on an NBA Finals game.
Any bet too, like any bet. It doesn't have to be like on like a money line. It can be like any bet in the NBA Finals game. If somebody scores 20 points, you win $200
in that game.
You can just like win your bet, and then you just get $200.
Yeah, no, it's huge.
Or if you lose it, you just get $200. Like,
right.
When was the last time one of these teams played and someone didn't score 20 points?
I mean, there's no way that's gonna happen.
Like never.
Steph or Tatum's gonna. I guess Tatum didn't get there last night, but. No, so $20.
Shit, did Horford go for 20?
Yeah. I mean, Steph had 20 in the first quarter.
Yeah, of course. That's the obvious one, but I'm just saying Horford went for fucking 20 himself,
Derek White, I think, had 21 or something like that.
My thing with this, what I would do, like the DeGen gambling mind, would be put 20 on your finals thing, and then you win a free 200. So you have, if you put 20 on, you bet 20, you win your bet, you got 240 after. You just screw around with this NCAA baseball tournament, $240 and have fun. Like how could you beat it? I told Avery Zaretsky to pop in. I've been loving following diehard family, lifelong Rangers fan. I know it's in your blood. I just got to ask you before we make our picks. Like, man, I mean, how you doing, man? This has got to be just unreal, right?
It's crazy right now. It's back to what it was in 2014. It's just like a different feeling. This team can score better than they did in previous years, and now it's almost like a dream come true. They just got to finish the job.
Tonight, everybody, and we just had RA on, he said he took Tampa Bay the second the game ended in game one at $1.25. They're now $1.32. All everybody's hearing is the Vasilevsky 17 games in a row bounce back from losing a playoff game. But the Rangers have won 7 in a row at home.
Here's the deal. I don't bet on my team. But I will say this. There's that stat, 17-0, 18-0, whatever it is. It's just a number. Gallant said it best, the Rangers head coach. He said they might be 17-0 in their last whatever, back-to-back games after a loss. But it hasn't been against us. Hasn't been against the Rangers this year. So it's a different team. I think Tampa underestimated their ability right now. And they've just been pumping. 2 7-game series. They're on fire right now, and I don't think anything's really going to stop them.
So, like early on in that Hurricane series, I mean, it was just a battle of defense, and the offense wasn't scoring. So now all of a sudden, I mean, what do they have? 12 goals in their last 2 games. What's been the big reason here?
There's a lot more open ice against Tampa. I think Carolina's the best forechecking team I've seen in a long time. In all the years I've been watching hockey, Carolina's probably up there in one of the better forechecking teams. And they really worked the Rangers, and I think it was almost like putting a weight on a baseball bat for Tampa. Tampa's a really good team, but they let you open up the ice a little bit more, whereas it was a much tighter game against Carolina.
Yeah, I remember they were saying the passes, the cross passes were
right.
tough against Carolina. They were in the passing lanes.
Right. Tampa's an overall better team scoring-wise and in net, but Carolina grinded the Rangers so well that now that they have all this open ice, they can do the same to, Tampa.
You guys a small dog in this series?
Yeah.
I bet they were probably a bigger one going to. I mean, if they're
you're home dog both.
If Tampa's minus 130 on the road, that means they're 180 at home probably.
Yeah.
So I mean, how important, Avery? You look at the series. New York's got a ton of momentum. Everybody's acting like this must win for the Lightning. How important is tonight for the Rangers to defend their home ice?
It's totally massive. I mean, with playoff hockey, it's not a series until you lose a game at home. They have to take care of business tonight, and if they do, they're playing with house money in Tampa.
Well, it seems like just being around New York and walking the streets, man.
It's a different vibe. It really is. I mean, I wasn't alive in 1994, but my dad was, and he said the city was like nothing else. Mike, the security guard, told me they not only had the parade, the ticket tape parade in the Canyon of Heroes, they also had parades all over Brooklyn. Like they had separate parades, and it's just a different vibe around the city when the Rangers are good. And who knows, man? They could do it. They could really do it this year. They have given me no reason to believe that they can't do it at this point.
I know they're young, but they started out really, really hot this year. Like, at what point were you like, hey, this team really could win a cup?
When they put that kid line together and you saw scoring from 1 through 3 lines, that's the difference maker. When it's not just your top guys, it's also the younger guys on these entry-level contracts contributing without getting paid a shit ton of money. It changes the whole entire aspect of the team. The defense has been great. Fox, I mean, he won the Norris Trophy last year. He broke the record for most points in elimination games in a single playoff series. So, listen, sky's the limit for this team.
Well, I know I love your clips of you being in the Garden and just seeing the hype.
Yeah.
I mean, the atmosphere is. I don't even know what to say.
I mean, when they were in it in 2014, it was crazy because they made the cup. But it's hard to remember, when 5 years pass by and then you go back in there and it's just the place is shaking after every goal. And when the game starts, when they play Bob O'Reilly, that's like the thing that really latched on in 2014. Everyone was clamoring for it. They didn't do it the first couple of games, and they brought it back. And that was almost like the turning point in the Rangers season. They were down 3-1. They play Bob O'Reilly. They win. They win 3 straight, and then they go on to Carolina, and they keep playing it. And now it's like,
why would they bring fucking Dolan?
I know,
so dumb.
It's wild.
He probably didn't. He had a beef with some drummer or some shit. He's such a fucking idiot.
What's crazy is
I like Dolan.
They came back from 3.
You like Dolan?
I mean, if you're a Rangers fan,
because he stays out of the way.
He's like good with the Rangers. But
right.
Knicks.
Whatever.
I like Dolan.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, what is he? I mean, the Rangers have been good.
Yeah, because he doesn't. It's not the cool thing for him to own, to be involved in the hockey. He just puts his fingers all over the Knicks.
Yeah,
Rangers have been more successful without him being.
I think he gets a worse rap for what he actually does. Like, he doesn't really do as much as people think, and that's just somebody who knows. Who's been around? I trust me.
But even stuff like Oakley, like incidents like that's you don't get like a pass. Like that's like it. Like when throwing your own like legendary guys out of your arena for nothing.
There's things that have happened.
Dude, he has input. He had input for a long period of time on the Knicks City Dancers. They weren't allowed to put Latrell Sprewell on trivia questions.
There's a lot of things, but
he makes high-level executives go to his concerts.
There's a lot of things. But
I know you have. Yeah,
if I was a Rangers fan, I wouldn't hate Dolan. I'm a Knicks fan.
He's a piece of shit.
Total scumbag.
Trust me.
All right, we got to get our picks in real quick. I mean, Avery, you feel free to make a hockey pick or two if you want.
Fucked up.
I don't bet on the Rangers. It's just like a thing I can't.
Do you think Edmonton has any shot at all, or are they just dead?
No. So here's the thing. I thought after the first game, Edmonton should have felt really happy because they made Colorado, a team that's really, really good defensively, play their style. It's like pond hockey, right? Everything's open ice, and they just score. I was really shocked to see them get shut out last night. I thought Mike Smith even played pretty well. But Colorado's just a wagon. They are so good at every level, and who knows? I thought that their new goalie isn't that great. He's pretty good. I mean, he didn't make a lot of saves, but he did the job. He got a shutout. So I think Colorado's probably going to win in 5 or 6.
I'd have. What you got today?
All right, so this game starts at like 2:20. I got the Cardinals money line. I'm on the Nats Reds over 9.5, and I'm on the Guardians minus 140.
Rico, what you got?
I got the D-backs money line. I got the Mariners money line. I'm on the Mariners, Rangers, over.
All right, I'll try to keep this quick. I mentioned it already. Columbia plus 215 underdog. I have Oklahoma minus 134. Thinking about adding Texas minus 420, but God, losing 4.2 units would just hurt so bad. But I still think they'll beat Air Force. Texas Tech plus 120 as well. I'm going to add Central Michigan plus 205 because people are chirping in my ear, and I'm going to listen to them. Southeast Louisiana plus 285. UNC Greensboro plus 165. VCU plus 180. Screw it, we'll do Michigan plus 155. Louisiana plus 128. We're taking all freaking underdogs. Dave Portnoy's not going to drag my ass in the Twitter streets for taking sucker favorites this year in the NCAA tournament, boys. So headed over to the Hoboken Gambling House and going to chase these plus signs all weekend long. Reminder, live stream Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Celtics-Warriors game 2. Must win for Golden State. Dave Portnoy's going to be here. Should be a huge live stream. Ev, UFC, you're going to have your fight picks out tomorrow?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'll have them out tomorrow. Give Tony Gravely a look. In boxing, give Devin Haney by knockout plus 550 a look. Good fights tomorrow.
Yeah, what a weekend in sports. NBA Finals, Stanley Cup playoffs, college baseball tourney, UFC, and boxing. I mean, it's kind of an all-you-can-eat deal. Major League Baseball.
Yeah, you got the Memorial going right now. Morikawa tips off in 5. Zalatoris had a great day yesterday. Rory had a good day yesterday.
I forgot to give a shout-out on that note. The dude I know, Sam Burns, was down 7 going into Sunday and won last week.
Wow.
What happened was he got in the clubhouse with a good score, and then the conditions went to shit.
Nice.
Yeah, but, I mean, he ended up he made a putt from off the green to beat Scheffler in a playoff to get his 3rd PGA win of the year, man. It's crazy.
If you're going to the Garden tonight, come say what's up. I'll be there.
Avery, I want more garden videos, man. I'm
Of course.
really enjoying following
Absolutely.
you in this Rangers playoff run. We'll be back Monday on Pick Central. Join us Sunday night for the Celtics-Warriors Game 2 live stream. And, hey, if you're not on the Barstool Sportsbook, get on that Can't Lose NBA promotion. No better time than now to join.